Alright guys, ICC Fits back here for another game for you guys. Now it's going to be TAKK or Team All Kill Kings versus SK Telecom Team 3 or T3. Now, for our awesome, SK Telecom, it's going to be sGs.Newburg competing for them, spawning in the top left as our yellow Predators. Spawning in our bottom right as the white Zerg will be TAKK's Legendary is going to be competing for TAKK. I'm just going to call him TAKK. But Team All Kings or TAKK, whatever, you can check them up on this little overlay over here and etc. So, the map will be ground zero. So, you have a pretty decently sized main. One ramp going down to your natural. Your natural has a pretty big choke to it, but nothing too impossible to hold off. Now, just as to note, most of the time they'll take their thirds over here instead of down here, because this is more susceptible to drops, and there's a small little choke point. So, but this has one area to defend, but it's a little further off. People just tend to do it. It tends to in theory makes it like feel like I think like theorcrafting, this is probably a better place to take, but just generally it's much harder to hold off. I don't know why in just gameplay terms that just tends to be how it is. So I'll be interested to see what the Zerg's gonna be going. He's gonna be going 9 pool first. Probably gonna be going pool before hatch. Maybe have a couple more lings to get some more extra map control. So with this map, I'm going to predict the Zerg, just since his cross positions and ZVP. He'll probably, the Zerg will probably take a base around here, probably a third. I'm going to be guessing it tends to play out like that a lot. And, yeah, so, Protoss will be opening with a double gateway opening. Nothing, so going to be going 2 gateways before gas. So we're gonna see what he's going to be going for. No fast expand to deal with this kind of early aggression, which I'm surprised by. But he might be doing some early aggression, try to break through this, and try to maybe end the game pretty quickly, because it definitely seems like he's going to go for more of aggressive opening here. Zerg's going to be finally putting down his hatchery, not going to be able to deny that at all, but Protoss does like to see what he sees. Now the Zerg, wasn't going to be going the right way, but now actually going the wrong direction, so going to be probably setting that the second time around. So, or this might be the risky third that I might be predicting as well. He doesn't have enough for it, but he might be saving up as the minerals are getting up there. Around that. Yeah, probably going to be saving, and will he be putting that expand down? Might be saving up for it, or going to be putting it down. I don't know exactly why he's saving up all these minerals for, but hey, if he wants to put it down, whatever. Nope, I'm going to put it right down here, like I was predicting. Just generally, that's kind of how the generic game goes. He's going to be doing a double pressure, going to be setting this out. I think this is kind of more standard to do this 2 gate, just to see if you can do some damage, but, you know, they get the 6 lings out. But, you know, the one thing with this build, though, you're not going to have the super economy up that you normally have. I mean, he's not fully saturating this at all. So, you're going to be seeing not such a good economy from the Zerg super early on. I mean, later, mid-game to late game, this really pays off. Especially when they can get that, when they can start getting those mass mutas up, or Hydro, or whatever they feel like going. This is kind of what it's for, but Zerg isn't most of the time super good in early game, I feel like. They do get the map control, but it's nothing that's too impossible to stop with. There are lings, and they will try to, you know, be pesky. They'll try to get in your base. As long as you have good, on top of that, sometimes it's not too hard to deal with that, but we're going to have to see if Legendary is going to be able to do this pretty well. I know Legendary, I was watching a stream maybe 1 or 2 days ago, around 2 a.m. in the morning, but yeah, he was practicing a lot with ZVP, so I don't know if that's really going to help him play out with this, but you know, he was practicing with a buddy, so it was kind of fun. You know, he's pretty good. He always likes to go this build, though. He always likes to do this kind of, this, oh, it looks like he's actually going to stop putting it here. I did see a 2 gate opening there, so he's going to be, he did cancel that, and the reason for that is he just didn't want, the reason for that pretty much is why you're going to see that, it's just because he didn't want the Zealots to, you know, hit that and so far off, and that's a problem, because now he's actually kind of behind now. He's going to put down a macro hatch instead. So nothing like too out of the way, but you know, he did have to cancel it, and then he had to rebuild it, you know, etc. But yeah, so it looks like he's going to be setting down a couple 6 Zealots actually. Could do some damage. That second colony will finish, and I don't think it's going to be doing too much at all. Probably should wait for the regroup his zealots around, but it doesn't look like he's going to want that at all. And he looks like, well, there's 2 second colonies there, so I should probably back off. Wants to be careful, though. Doesn't want to do... looks like he's just going to go in there anyway. I don't agree with that at all, but he might get 1 free zealot kill. No, it looks like they're just going to run away. Oh. Excuse me, one of them. Well, water's supposed to clear out a coughing throat, but it caused one. Sorry about that, guys. I'm really, really sorry about that. So, Zerglings are going to be making their way across the map right now. That is a lot of Zerglings, so can do some damage if he's not prepared for it. Cut a position, checking for a third. Zerg is not going for a third, maybe a lair. Now, that depends if he's going to go more. He's going to go into Hydra or Hydra or Muta, but he has nothing on the ramp here. This could be really, really bad for him right here. Zealots are really kind of out of position. Will be able to get that wall off in time, though. Zealot's not quite done. Getting Corsair up, too. So he's doing the follow-up build. He's going to be... Now, the good thing about this, though, he won't, I believe... Will he get a Hydra done in time? I don't think he does. So right when this is happening, though, since he's kind of throwing off the Zerg off the regular build here, he did deny that expand for a while, but... Oh, he's going to get 2 free Zealot kills there. Not being too, Newburg isn't playing too up to the fullest right. He could be right here. And I'm a little disappointed by that, but it looks like Corsair will be able to get and have some free reign over this, as he doesn't have a, he's not even putting on a Spire, so he doesn't, we'll have to probably see a Hydra coming down, which it will, but he's not going to have a lot of larva to deal with this Corsair right now. I don't think it's going to be doing too much, but if he actually can get this Overlord before the Hydra can pop, though, that would be really good, because then he can't build the Hydra. Going to be able to get up 2 Hydra, though. So... 2 Hydra though aren't gonna be doing too much. That will supply block the Zerg, which will have to make him get more stuff. And this is where the Zerg doesn't really want to be right now. This is gonna really put him back. 1 Corsair, I mean, not taking away them super fast, but enough to be kind of concerning. But will he be able to snipe off this Overlord as well? I think he will, and will further supply block the Zerg right here, and that's got to be really annoying. And for only 1 Corsair, killing off 2 Overlords, not bad at all. And, it kind of just shows, like, when you're kind of thrown off this generic build, you're kind of, like, when your opening's thrown off like that, it kind of throws you off completely. I think that really puts you back when something completely goes wrong, and then, like, okay, what the hell do I do now? I have to figure what the hell I'm supposed to be doing. Because now you practiced your opening for so long, and now your third doesn't come up now all of a sudden, so now you have to be like, okay, I have to put my hatchery down here, I have to put now a macro hatch, and now I'm not off through base, so now I can't make nearly as much stuff. But he is no longer supply blocked. Newburg will also be putting down his expand. So, we'll have Templar Archive up as well. Zerg is continuing to produce Hydra, so it's going to be a 2 base 3 hatchery Hydra play, I guess. Does he have Lurker Tech? It probably should start. No, getting the normal upgrades. Looks like he wants to expand down here as well. Protoss, I think, in this situation, probably should start doing some kind of drop harass, I think. Might not be the worst idea, especially when this defensive position here. That's kind of what he wants to be in right now. But, that is a pretty overwhelming force. I mean, looking at the mini-map, and that is not Spider Mines now, like in TVT, when that looks so much bigger. 47 supply to 63, though. I mean, I don't get... It just looks like the Zerg has such a bigger supply, but it actually ends up being that the Protoss does. I don't get how it really works out too well, like, it's just a supply count for the Protoss is just so much higher. Now, this is looking pretty generic. He doesn't have Storm yet, though. He found a sweet spot here where he doesn't have Storm, and this is a really good time for the Zerg to just push in here and do too much damage. He could maybe just break the Protoss right now. He doesn't really have much but the longer he waits, the more Storm's gonna be more likely to finish up. And Zerg's gonna be putting down the space down here. Are we getting upgrades for the Zerg right now? I'm not entirely sure. Will he get a +1 armor? Nope, nothing really out of the right now. Lurker Tech has just began, and gonna be getting a second simulator now. So I don't know what the Protoss is really thinking at this point in time. I don't know what he's trying to accomplish by. He's gonna be bringing down more gateways. I just don't. I feel like this scenario he should be doing something. Now the Zerg is just putting up. Oh, it looks like Zerg is going to be engaging here. Will he have enough to be, able to break through this? Not even using the links here. Storm is going off, though. Putting off a good amount of Hydra right there, and it looks like he's not going to be able to do much. And it looks like it's just going to continue to engage here right now, and Newburg is going to be a good position for you. I don't think it really is, as you're not really going to be able to get a good surround on that, but Ken has 2 HP left on that little guy. Has DT, he does have Overlords here, so a DT is really not going to do too much. And it looks like he's just going to have to come in here and see if he's going to be able to do much damage. Just kind of numbing Lings here. Storming a part of his own Zealots here. I don't like that at all, but still, he's going to be able to clean up this armory pretty efficiently. And he's going to make an Archon in response. And that is pretty cool. He's going to continue to try to rally units over, but not going to be to the best of his ability. This is where Protoss, if he was able to do that, I think right now he wants to... He looks like he's going to go for a counter push here, which is not a bad idea. But you know, just knowing the Zerg build here, I think he should realize that the third, if he doesn't spot it here, he should go over here. This is just generic where he's going to be like, even in response to this, he knows that the creep is going to put down 2 creep colonies, but this is what he wants to do. Oh, that is a good amount of Hydra, but will he be able to just nom ways through that? Protoss upgrades are looking, getting +1 attack right now, and yeah, gotta be... I don't like this though, really, right now at all. He needs to deny this expand. That's what he needs to be doing. If he's going to be off of 2 base, he wants to kill off this Zerg base right now, and that's what he's going to need to do. I'm just surprised by the lack of awareness of that base, because it's like, okay, great. What did he do while he was setting up a contain? Because what are you going to do when you're setting up a contain? You're just going to chill out there and just continue to build units? No, you're gonna. I mean, yes. I mean, to a certain extent, you're going to build units enough to contain, but you're going to expand behind it. You have the map control, so you're going to expand. Like, that's what you do in StarCraft. You can assume that most of the time, unless your person's going for an all-in. But you know, I just looking at the numbers that Zerg has, it doesn't look like it's overwhelming. I mean, to the point where it's like, okay, he cut drone production completely, and he's going mass on units right now. He's a Y block right now, which is never a good thing. But Protoss will be expanding, though. Not a bad move by him at all, getting another macro hatch over there as well. I question why he doesn't put that a macro hatch up there, just so he can, you know, have another base in where he's going to have another base. That means he can mine back there whenever he needs to, and he can use it as a macro hatch. It might be a little more out of the way, but also might be able to, you know, help wall off as well. So I don't know if that's questionable, but, you know, I'm not really going to point that out too much. Because they probably know what's best for them. Lightning is looking, legendary, excuse me, not in the best position as he could be, as he did lose that army 111 supply gun. He's going to be engaging here against an upgraded Protoss army. This is not a good idea. Does he have observers out, though? I'm not quite sure. Does he have observatories out? I don't think he does. He's just getting up his robot support base, so he doesn't actually, and I don't think he realized that. But he would have enough storm. Did he have enough storm? Yeah, he had enough storm to probably kill off those lurkers. So, lurkers are going to have to make him fend back for right now, as that is delayed. Does he have an overlord? Is he getting a drop available? I'm not sure if he is. There goes the 4th base for the Zerg, as he sees that this base is operational. That is a lot of cannons, and going to be doing some probe transferring over there. And yeah, Corsair's not doing anything. 0 kills on that little guy. Going muted now, oddly enough. Now, will it do guaranteed damage? Now, that's the important thing. I don't know, because it just seems Muta's not a bad unit, but I just don't know if it's, like, worthwhile to actually go and get them at this point in time, because he's kind of committed himself to the Hydra right now, and I'm just not sure doing a complete tech switch to... Oh, no, it's not doing a complete tech switch. I'm elaborating on something that doesn't make any sense, so screw what I just said and throw it out the window. Zerg looks like he's going to be trying to expand to his, that 5 o'clock position down in that area. Protoss is just chilling. Is he getting more upgrades? He is. He's getting double upgrades, +1 armor, +2 attack starting, and the Muta are getting map control. That's what the Zerg wants to do. He's looking very, very powerful right now, and you know, it's just the point. This is just where I feel like the Protoss sits back too much in this, and in this scenario, I just feel like what's his name? Yeah, Newburg is just sitting back too much. He needs to be doing something. He's letting the Zerg macro up. That's not what you want to have happen. Now he's going to be getting the double upgrades going. He might even start initiating air upgrades as well. I think he didn't just start those. Getting +1, getting +2. Yeah, so he's getting Carapace right now, getting +1 missile attack is about to finish. And finally, he's going to be pushing out here. Hopefully, it's not too late, but he's moving into a Lurker line here, and they do bonus damage versus pretty much anything. They do their full potential to anything really Protoss related, and he's going to be running into a whole bunch of Hydra there. Going to be kind of losing stuff. The Archon probably will fall if he target fires that. No, it doesn't look like it. He will have his Observer out with Observer speed as well. Interesting there. And I don't think where the Protoss can do a lot right now. He doesn't have any anti-air right now. The Dragoon numbers aren't really up that high right now. But he does have +2 operational. Will he be getting +3? He did storm his own army, but killing off a lot of those mutants right there, and he just completely lost all those muta right there, which is you know, not a best move for you know, for legendary at this point in time. So those muta really didn't do too much really at all. Might have snapped off a High Templar or two, but you know, in the end, it's not really going to do too much. But it looks like he's going to be want to attack the natural. I don't normally agree with this move just because it's not. It's more. What's the point? Because now this base is almost mined out. Why not attack a more unsecure location? But it looks like he's going to go for it anyway. And will he be able to break his opponent here? Now it's kind of going to come down to this. He does have an upgrade advantage here though, and Zerg's going to be coming in from the back with a couple of Hydra though, but getting stormed upon, getting another storm, beautiful storms going off. A lot of Hydra are falling, but these upgrades are really kind of proving out to really beat up these Hydra right here, and the Lurker is probably just gonna die. And still trying to go with this muta Hydra style, which is probably more like standard. But will he be able to clean this up? That's kind of important here. I don't think he will. Just do the you know, Dragoons are pretty beefy units right here, and they're doing 24 damage per shot here, plus the Zel's cleaning up the Hydra, and I just think in the end, it's just not going to be enough to do it, and if he loses his natural and he loses his main, that's kind of key. A lot of Hydra are making their way over here. I think Ling might be the better choice of unit here, as they do a huge amount of DPS against Dragoons there, but he did only lose his natural. I mean, he did lose one mining base, but now he has this base operational. He has this base operational. I just don't know. Oh, Protoss did expand, though, so Protoss is looking pretty strong right now. Oh, and he has a whole other army. I didn't realize that. I thought the Zerg was actually ahead right now, but I've not really been paying attention to Newburg really much at this game at all. He's been actually macroing like himself this whole game. He is not mining at this base location. I don't know, probably some kind of drop, but it looks like he's going to try to come in here and do some damage against this 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock, whatever you really want to call it. But he's going to try to kill off reinforcements, which is exactly what he wants to do here. And yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to push. I don't think he's going to be able to do this. He's still getting more oopsie. He's getting double upgrades again, but halfway finished for +3 and halfway for +2. And the whole Zerg army is just kind of getting depleted right here. And I think Newburg is playing it pretty efficiently. I think he knows this matchup way better. And yeah, so the Zerg doesn't have like an answer to this army really. This is kind of the problem that I've seen with a lot of ZVPs lately, is that the Zerg will try to do so much early game aggression and their army just dies because they don't have the numbers to really do this. And they just take so many expands in general that they'll just lose straight up in a one-on-one fight with the main army. So yeah, I don't know where he's really building stuff right here. Not building there. Okay, good. I was gonna like, if this was like this random replay like that was corrupt again, like the one that he wasn't building anything, he didn't go over 80 supply, but it definitely looks like the Zerg is right here. Actually, he's at 80 supply again, actually, but that's just because he's losing Hydras right now. And if he goes in the main, that's really gonna be the killing blow here. So it's just looking trying to come up here with his 2-1 Dragoon, almost 2-2 right now, and almost 2-3, and very shortly. Will 2-3 about to finish before he even finishes up this game. Going to be storming out that Lurker though, and he's going to be cleaning that up just fine. And does he have +3 finish? It looks like it's just about to finish, and we will just see right here as it will go up right now. No, +3 never finished. I guess +3 was the end of the game, but yeah. So interesting TV. Well, I mean, it was more like just a generic Protoss versus Zerg here, but I think it's just. To note is just kind of to point out how the Brood War scene tends to go right now. We're looking at a Zerg that went for a fast third, ultimately canceled it. Might have not been the best decision because the Protoss may or may not have known about it, depending on if he wanted to check down there or not. He didn't seem to check down there in the bottom left at all. Really, I'm not sure if he ever knew about that base, but You know, the Protoss was kind of sitting back when I think he could have been doing more aggression. But but right now, since the Zerg is taking so many expands and not really getting up an army, he's like, okay, I'm going to contain the Protoss, and now we won't be able to push out, so I'm going to go expand 3 times. Maybe once. And when he breaks the contain, keep that base, but don't take 2 more expands. Build up your army. You're going to need to get those upgrades going. You're going to need to build up your army. Now, 5-base Zerg is very, very powerful. I just think I think Lightning chose the wrong time to go for that base, and that's kind of why he ultimately lost. So, for the 5th step of the game, I think what the Zerg just needs to improve on just generally, and this is kind of just generic stuff, what I've a lot of seen, at least in D-rank games right now, is that the Zerg will do the standard opening. They'll put down the 14 hatchery at some random location far away. Now, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Because sometimes if it goes up, they completely overwhelm their opponent. But when that gets stopped by the Protoss, you have to think, am I gonna try to set up a contain that would initially happen when I have a 3rd base, I'm gonna be able to produce more? Not really. You shouldn't be doing that, especially since he's gonna be able to get Storm. Also, Legendary might know you may want to know the timing when he gets Storm, because you might have been able just to push in there with Brute Force earlier on. I don't know how well it would have worked. Again, this is just theory crafting here, but you could have there was a timing window where you could have gone in with that when he didn't have Storm. And then good, what's your worst enemy on the Protoss army against Hydra? It's Storm, because the Hydra clump up and they all die. That wouldn't happen if you engaged earlier. Zerg could also potentially do more drops. I just think it was more of an inactive game, which is ultimately what the Protoss was allowed to do. Because it's like comparing a PVT. If the Protoss lets the Terran macro up, I mean, like, what are you gonna do? You can't really do anything. You have to make them delay that as much as possible, and then you have to out macro them. That's what you have to do with Zerg here, except it just didn't work out so well. You have to find the right windows to attack and etc. I think that's kind of how it went. But so if you're looking back, so Legendary did lose this. So SK Telecom's actually winning right now. When I did check this last week, both these teams were tied for the ranking. So pretty good stuff going on for this. And thanks for watching, guys. It wasn't the most entertaining game, I guess, but good Brood Warden nevertheless. So let's hope we're gonna have XP's Artanis versus Razor XYV or YV. So on Neo Aztec. So that will be a PvP, pretty fast, probably pretty fast pace. And yeah, see you guys next time. Peace.